Hello, hello, folks. Hopefully you can hear me. We are going to find out soon enough, I suppose. I'll just give people some time to get on here. Happy Monday, Moon Day, the day of intuition. Ooh, so exciting. So I just want to start off, I guess, by saying thank you to all of you who new welcome back folks who've been here and been like consistently watching our videos, showing up. Just want to say thank you to each and every one of you. Really does mean a lot to me to know that there's like this community of folks that like I can't see necessarily in like the physical reality around me, but knowing energetically we are connected, that you are there engaging, and like that this isn't just kind of falling on deaf ears. I really do appreciate hearing what you're going through in that. So my hope is to just really start to utilize like the YouTube space in a much more expansive way. And, with releasing videos on Thursday, it's been really great. Been enjoying that. And it's helping me to kind of get into that routine that I just feel this need to really start to expand and show up here a bit more, and see what is it that is needed in the collective at this time. And I was talking with another YouTuber. If you are interested in lovely art, you could check her out. Madeline, Art by Madeline, I believe is the channel. I'll try to put that in the chat here or in the description after. She does really cool different types of paint art. Like I think it's acrylic, but or no, it's a special type of paint. I apologize. I can't even tell you what it is, but it's a very unique type of paint material. But just talking about the fact that there is like something about doing the lives. And I realized that like, oh, I haven't done those in like a long time. And so if you are new to the channel, that's okay. You might not know, but yeah, I would previously take time in sharing card readings, pulling runes, and so forth. So hoping to kind of make this a combination of that. So if you are interested in having a card pulled, or cards, because let's be honest, it tends to be a few different cards. I've got the runes, I've got cards here. I kind of just go intuitively with what shows up. And we will check in with that. But let me know how you're doing in the comments section. How have things been for you this week with this transition into spring? Now with the April 1st, like this Fool's Day being this complete new renewal, I definitely sense that. That's like the beginning of the journey when we talk about tarot, when we talk about these keys in the decks. I'm going to see if I can find the Fool's card just to kind of go through that with you. Here he is. There is something about the Fool. Let's see if we can get this showing here. There's something about the curiosity of starting something new that can be so exciting for each and every one of us. Exciting, but also scary because we don't really know. In the Fool image and the like Rider-Waite kind of original tarot deck, it's this young individual who is about to step off a cliff for the most part. Here he is on his journey, carrying his bag. He's got this little dog behind him, and he's looking up to the sky, looking up for guidance, looking to spirit, but yet oblivious in a way to what the next step is going to take. Doesn't really know that, okay, there's potential that he's going to fall off a cliff. And it can be really scary. We're going into a new chapter. So whatever is showing up for you, just recognizing that you are being supported, okay? That you can either be distracted by what is around you in the physical reality. Oftentimes we're being fed with information from the news, from our societal like norms and the pressures of how we need to show up in our work, our families, wherever it is you might engage, different communities. There's oftentimes this expectation of how you need to show up. And the Fool reminds us that it's okay to relinquish a bit of those expectations and start our journey new, okay? So are you willing to step forward in that? So let's, we'll pull some cards and stuff and just kind of do like for the collective for this next little bit, what are some pieces that maybe would benefit from knowing or just recognizing in our lives right now. And that can support us, So we'll start here just with the animal spirit deck. What animal is going to kind of guide? I feel like there's so many animal energies lately. For myself, it's been bear, the Kodiak bear, with like my power animal energy. Like, how am I moving forward? What power do I want to bring in? So let's see for the collective, what energy is coming in. Oh, the earthworm. It's interesting. So we have the earthworm. There we go. This rainbow. I love that rainbow. If you can see the color of the rainbow there for the earthworm. Look how it's kind of wrapped into itself. It almost looks like an ankh too, like that life, And when do earthworms come out? Earthworms are pretty versatile in a way. They're resilient to experience for the most part. But they require the water, they require the earth in order to keep themselves safe. There's something about emotions and about the ability to ground down that I think can be really supportive. So as we think about the earthworm and what that all means, I remember when I was a kid, we went to like this park for a family friend kind of gathering, and it was raining, and there was this earthworm. I swear, I was a kid, so maybe I'm exaggerating a bit, but it was like at least like a good 1.5 feet long, and like it was thick. It was so thick. I was like, there's no way in hell this is a real like earthworm, or like it must be a mutant earthworm, And usually we see these very small ones. So it's like, how much are we willing to keep ourselves safe? Hello, TNM. Oh, I feel like I should know who you are, but hello. If you'd like a card, let me know. We're just kind of doing a collective reading here. So we're going to pull a few cards here. Let's see, as a collective. So we have 3 of Pentacles. We have, these are all in reverse, which is interesting. This is the 7 of Wands and the Ace of Wands. Yeah. Yes, hello. Okay, we'll definitely get you one. So there's something here, in the 3 of Pentacles, and I'll show this in a moment. And when I read, I guess I'll just say I kind of intuitively read, by the way. It's not so much based on like what the astrology is, and then I try to tie some of that in if I can tell you or know what it is, but for the most part, I just kind of play with it. So first we have the 3 of Wands in reverse. So we have this being doing the work, and it's funny because the card for the chakra deck was workaholic. So there's something here as we enter into April, into this new beginning with the Fool's Day, with spring, starting fresh. And it's like, where can we bring in the help from others? We don't have to carry it all ourselves, but I think maybe there's a sense of we have to, we want to because we're told to. Then we have here the 7 of Wands. And in this image, we can see this guy, basically, it looks like he's fighting off these other wands that are kind of showing up. I guess it's a matter of how you perceive it. So are there things, different priorities that you have right now that are kind of taking, that are needing you to refocus on? I know for me, it's so easily distracted by all of life's wonderful, flashy items. This I get, and this is kind of where I felt this week, is this, there's a sense of renewal that we get to start to choose what our priorities are. And this takes us to the Ace of Wands. This one is actually upright. So what are you taking as your one priority? Maybe it's not one, maybe it's a couple different things, but just share a story a bit before I get into the personal card for TNM here. For myself with my kid, trying to navigate her focus on, okay, it's time to get ready, let's go, like what things do you need to get done, or what's your priority to get us out of the house so we can go run errands or whatever, like get your socks on, get yourself dressed, do your hair and so forth. Hi, Tiffany. If you'd like a card, let us know. We'll pull up one for you too after this kind of collective reading. I realized here I am holding this expectation for her, to make sure she gets it all. Do. And I catch myself doing this very often. It must be like some ADD thing, which, I just kind of self-diagnose that, where I'll be doing something, getting ready, and then I get like a sidetrack energy, do something else. Oh, and this. Oh, yeah, and this. And thank God for my partner, who just lovingly pointed it out to me. But it's like, we've been playing a lot of these like computer games lately, like Grand Theft Auto and all these different games where you have a mission, but there's these side quests you can do. And it's like, he's like, you have side quests. You have to like focus on what's your main mission. So I feel like these cards are kind of guiding us through that. Like, we can do all the work for ourselves, or we can easily pass that work on to others and not carry the burden. Like, because in this image, you see these people, talking to someone who's like kind of like a mason, brick mason or whatever, doing the work on the building. And it's almost like they're like giving the orders or suggesting, hey, how about this? How about this? And I know sometimes that requires money or investment in some way, but it's okay to spend a bit of that money. Don't make yourself into this major workaholic energy. Why are you critiquing everybody else's stuff or expecting a critique of your work from others when you can just do what you love, take your time, delegate where it's needed to as well? Hi, Melody, for sure, we'll get you a card. And I feel like the earthworm can really help with some of that energy. So just as we go through and I start pulling cards here for everyone, or the ruins, where can the earthworm also show up for you? It's the collective. Okay. So let's get in. TNM. Yeah, let's get your card. Thanks for being back here. I think Tiffany as well. I recognize your name. Melody, sorry if I don't recognize you, but welcome. Yeah, make sure you all subscribe. We'll hopefully do this every Monday. We'll kind of see what the time is. I mean, clearly there's folks showing up at 12:30. I figure lunchtime is a nice time to do it, but maybe evenings as well. So TNM, let's get some cards for you. We'll start with the chakra card. Let's see. Get to know spirit, angels. Ooh. So a destiny card. Starting with the destiny card for you. Ooh, so bright. Trying to let it, there we go. This is interesting. Here, this like vision of the light and the dark meeting before the spiritual masters, those ascended masters. There's something here about integrating the light and the dark for yourself, TNM. How is that going for you? Have you been exploring anything like shadow work lately? It's really interesting because I'm just noticing with this card, you can see the shadow aspect's face. You don't see the light's face. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. Just the way it's turning. There's something very prominent showing up in the shadow aspect. And I think that can be very, very beneficial. It's not meant to be, it can be scary, but it's not meant to be anything to shame or guilt oneself for. I just started diving into it yesterday. Okay. So yeah, you're on the path. It's destiny. There's something unlocking for you here that's going to really support you with opening those doors. And you have the guidance of these masters. It's almost like they're being impatient with you. Look at the guy. He's got like arms crossed, like, took you long enough. Like, what have you been waiting for? This is your path. You're being guided by spirit. And then we have the vulture energy, which I don't know if I've ever had this card pulled before. What is a vulture? A vulture is waiting to have anything that's dead or dying so it can come and remove it. So I would suggest calling in the energy of the vulture, TNM, to support you with clearing the shadow. It is. It's so, I've been doing some more shadow work myself. I don't know if you could, I would encourage you, if you are curious about other ways, especially group process, which can be really healing and supportive with shadow, because it helps us to see that we're not alone. I've been doing this like shadow work carpet kind of healing practice with a group of people here in Edmonton. And I know that these facilitators exist across North America. Maybe it's worth considering. If not, tapping into the spiritual energy of this animal, the vulture, to come and like swoop up the energies that you've cleared. Otherwise, it can be like a remnant exists, almost like I'm seeing just like this barren land with all the pieces that have been shedding, and they just are there. And it can feel really heavy. It can feel really challenging to work through, but it doesn't have to be. This energy of the vulture really is coming from spirit. And we can see with the magenta kind of purpley pink color around the animal that there's something there that's being definitely divinely guided for you. So let's just see. Okay, actually, we're going to do a rune for you because that's kind of coming through TNM. I laughed so hard at my guides waiting. I feel that it's time. Fear's been holding me back. Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, yeah, if you have any questions about shadow work, feel free. You know, I think it's like about recognizing, being seen, and just seeing yourself. We all have these parts of our shadow that can be so overwhelming and challenging. And I'm just feeling that like in the heart, to just breathe into the heart. Anytime these difficult emotions come, the rune that was pulled is Hagalaz, and this is like the hailstorm. And so it was kind of turned a bit like this. So I'm kind of getting the sense of like, it's been the hailstorm in the past. It's almost like, you know, so whatever the events or situations from the past that have been there for you, breathing into the heart, just recognizing, calling on the vulture energy to support clearing that, because they really don't have to be as scary as we've been told. You know, I think vultures are like, oh, oftentimes, but it's like they're a very much important part of the ecosystem where they live. But this Hegel as a storm, it can seem really messy and confusing, and the fear can be there because you can't see, but just trust it's balancing itself out. And in that pause in the heart and the breathing, the snow, it's almost like that blizzard, that hail just starts to dissipate, and you become like the center of the storm, you know, and in the center of the storm is where the peace is, where the calm is. So definitely want to just invite you to check that for yourself. TNM as you continue on your journey. So yeah, hope that kind of helps you. Yeah, you're very welcome. Okay, let us go here. Tiffany, let us pull you a card, then we'll get to Melody. Thanks everyone. Yeah, and if you find this help, obviously, you know, if it doesn't resonate, that's totally fine too. Assume if people are here, there's a reason you're here, you know? So, Tiffany, let's get a card for Tiffany. What's Tiffany's last initial again? L. What did you, Tiffany to know? Spirit. It's funny, I'm just looking at like over here, they have this book I just got. It's like a poetry book called Mixed Feelings. And it's about, it's specifically a book on poetry for people who identify as mixed. I don't know, Tiffany, if this is something that resonates for you or not, but about, again, like being able to recognize the aspects of ourselves that seem like polarities. Anyways, there's something there. So Tiffany, we have this yellow solar plexus card for you, dissipating. Just gonna look at this. I'm getting the sense that there is something that's pulling your attention that might not be the most positive right now. You know, like sometimes it could even be the fear on the news, the overwhelm of what people are telling us is like, this is bad, this is wrong, it's scary, oh my God, and it can drain us of our vital energy. Solar plexus is kind of that, it's a solar plexus, the sun in our belly, where our joy comes, our power, like this will, pretty much. So it's like, is anything pulling your attention that could be very suspicious or disheartening, leery, I want to say? Or are we willing to refocus our energy on this innocent nature, this joy, this yellow bird that is looking and wanting to get your attention, Tiffany? Let's pull an animal card here. I think your ancestors have some words for you too. If you have worked with your ancestors, I'm seeing these 3 picture frames here. It's almost like these ancestors, possibly on the maternal side, women who've wanted to, who have been guiding you. Can you connect to them, whoever they are? So we have the shark energy here, Tiffany. Oh, it's kind of hard to see. Okay, let me just read this. I'm literally shaking. I've been diving into my heritage deeply this past few weeks. I do. Oh, God. Okay. Sometimes I can't even make this shit up. It's so scary. Oh, okay, yeah. Indigenous European and a bit of African ancestry. Who? I feel you. I feel you so much. Okay, let me show you. That's funny. So this book I just got, and like weird synchronicities of how I came to this, like one book. It's just poetry, and it's a collection of different poets and other artists talking about the various types of mixed ancestry and the things that they've gone through. So whatever you've been moving through, identifying, trying to decolonize, I hear that. I know it's not easy. It can, and it's funny, the shark is showing up. I wish you could kind of see that a bit better. This great white shark, I'm pretty sure. It's like, can be vicious, and it can be scary. And tying it into this, there's so much stuff right now that can be pulling our attention on race. And I'm reminded constantly, like even from my partner, from others who are kind of like moved through some of the stuff of like, we can get caught up on the racial stuff that's being fed to us on the news, on TV, from other people around us, of the inequalities and all that stuff. Or we can focus on the beauty of who you are, this Indigenous European mixed ancestry with the African, whatever your ancestry is. You got the three on there. What wants to be pulled into your experience to share with you? These three photo frames here, those ancestors. Are you willing to kind of move your attention just a little bit so that you can start to bring in that, and that shark, the shark of this racial inequality, all that? It's really, it's not that bad. And we were watching like Lara Croft Tomb Raider, and there's like the scene in the second one, I think it is, where she's swimming. She doesn't have oxygen. She's in the ocean. Okay, spoiler a little bit. And all of a sudden she like cuts herself in the water. And we're both like, why did she do that? But then the shark comes, and she wanted the shark to come to her to like carry her up to the air. And because she's bleeding, the shark starts circling, and then she like punched the shark in the nose. It was really quite like funny, in my opinion. Love Angelina Jolie, but it was just like really hilarious. But that like reminder, I guess, of, we're kind of like, well, why did she have to do that? Couldn't she just swam herself instead of waiting for the shark to carry her? Or it also was kind of neat to know that she had power over the shark, and she went patiently and faced the fear of this like vicious animal coming directly for her. There's like so many different contexts, I guess, or ways you could perceive this, but there's something about that. So I would encourage you, Tiffany, meditating on the shark. Okay, and we'll pull a rune. I don't know why it keeps coming. Every time I pick up those cards, it's like, rune. So let's get Tiffany a rune. That's it. Perthrow. And I think it's supposed to be like this. So it's something about the path. It's reverse for you, I guess, from where we're sitting. But I'll just hold it like this. Perthrow is like, it would be considered the cup, the chalice, the cauldron, the womb, and it was pointing in reverse. So there's definitely something about the feminine holding, and when we talk about ancestral healing, we talk about the maternal line. I would encourage you to, you can call in the shark, meditate, but also feel into your womb, even if it's just the energetic womb. Everyone has the space below the belly button, and see what are your grandmothers hoping to bring you, and that you can receive from the past, receive from their wisdom in your ancestral line, in your lineage, your blood lineage, the shark being that blood, right, kind of bestial animal. And maybe there's something in your ancestry, depending on where you've kind of come from, that if there's a shark like story, what can that bring for you? Listening to the intuition that's coming up here. And I don't know, maybe this book has something for you, mixed feelings or whatever. I know there's also that other book, if you've read it, Me and White Supremacy. It's kind of a deep book, but I found that, I haven't gone through all of it myself just because it's like, hey, when it's time, go through pieces. That for someone who is mixed with like the white ancestry myself, there's a lot of internalized racism and stuff that's showing up. The more I look at that and explore it in just ease, and like not holding myself in a hard way, just being gentle and compassionate. Like there's a lot of healing that's happening there. So I would encourage you to check that as well. So yeah, hope that's supportive, Tiffany. Thanks for checking in. All the best with your journey. Woo. Yeah, TNM, it was so funny that Laura Croft, I assume is why you're laughing. Okay, Melody, let's get you. Melody Jones, I think it is. We had to turn that movie off. I'm pretty sure I've seen it before, but like it was just ridiculous. This month marks 9 years since my mother's death. I feel a lot of pain there. She was the European side, and I'm trying to learn how to have acceptance for the colonizers from which we descended. Yeah, I'm sorry about your loss. It's 9 is a powerful number. The cycle. Now you got to restart, the grieving process, even if it's still occurring, you're seeing it in a new depth and in a new way, Tiffany. So yeah, I trust that you know what you're going to need to do and what shows up and whatever your mother has to share with you too, if you're willing to listen for her. Okay. Let us do Melody. Melody Jones. What card do you have? Spirit. Self-worth. Good old sacral chakra. Woohoo! That's always fun. I like this image. And we got this lovely, talking about indigenous folks. I'm identifying this as an indigenous person up north, wearing some traditional clothing, and yet, receiving from both sides. Here we've got this throne that's showing up. So I don't know, Melody, if you identify as a person of color or anything like that. You don't have to say anything, obviously, but yeah, you're welcome, Tiffany. Okay, let's see. Melody, animal. Ooh, oh god. Okay, yeah, it's fancy. We got turtle here. Turtle Island. There's something here. For sure. This is very interesting that this is kind of coming up as a theme. So yeah, okay, Melody, I'm just going to speak whatever, and if it resonates or not, that's fine. And I might not even be saying this correctly because I don't personally identify as indigenous, and I can't say I might actually understand the stories and culture 100%. So bear with me. But my understanding here in Canadian, like the land of Canada or whatever, I guess North America would be identified as like Turtle Island. And that's kind of like the creation story, was that birthing where this turtle, like all the land was created on the back of the turtle, is how I understand. So getting the sense that there is something here that just a reminder for you that you deserve to walk on this land. Okay. You are just as worthy as the next person to be here. So if you are having thoughts of not wanting to be here, which happens, especially lately, I don't know, it's like something it's almost like being in it. I don't want to cause paranoia. Like, I don't want to create victim story blaming either, but sometimes it's like almost it feels as though things are being fed to our minds. And sometimes I wonder, like, where's all this negativity and this hateful thought patterning or whatever coming from? But it's just recognizing that these thoughts sometimes happen, and we can pick up on the collective thoughts as well, that we all deserve to be here. We all have a purpose of being here. Reminding, and I think you'll see that purpose more in nature. With this spending time in nature, it's going to help you to develop and see your self-worth. And I'm just going to speak. I see more people showing up. So if anyone here is wanting a card, let us know in the comments. We still have another half hour or so that will be on here pulling cards. being in nature, it's going to remind you, and being in nature, I'm just going to point out this individual here. They are standing now looking, but before they were building a snow angel. You see this down at the bottom? They were playing, they were connecting to the earth, they were having fun. And then all of a sudden, this awareness of the beauty of life was revealed. Wow, you got like some major like Empress energy, Melody. That's super cool. The Queen, you got the throne. You got the throne. Okay, you're being carried on the back of the earth, provided for by spirit. Like everything is being provided for. So if there is something you feel like, do I want that or do I need it? Like it's all there for you. Hi, DMA, Deborah. Oh yeah, hi, Deborah. Oh yeah. Melody, like encouraging you, maybe don't try this with like huge purchases if it's going to cause too much anxiety. But what I have found, like, I don't know how many times this happens, but I'll be like, oh, I really like this thing. Or, whether it's a material item or to like put my kid in like a activity or some class. And it's like, hey, I really feel this needs to happen. And I invest the money into it. And then all of a sudden the money just shows up, or like the money shows up and then I do it right as I'm thinking, oh, I want to do this thing. And then, or it's gifted, or who knows, there's so many different ways in which you can show. You are basically this queen being provided for. There's like, you don't have to really lift a finger. You can play and have fun, just being on the earth, making those snow angels, and see how the universe is going to start to like bring value into your life, which you get to also bring value into the lives of others. That's a huge other part of this, is like that wealth is going to be brought all over. So Melody, let's get you a rune. Yeah, LPs. So you're being protected. I'm seeing here, whenever I see this not whenever, but a lot of times when I see Elkies too, I see it as this person holding up arms to like receive the blessing, to know that they are like just this all-powerful being, and that is you. Okay, Melody? If it helps you to envision receiving what you would desire, or just to imagine energy flowing to you from the universe, you can stand in the sun or wherever and just imagine with your arms up that light pouring into you, just like it's pouring in here with this image of the chair from heaven. Okay. You get to choose, are you going to sit in that throne? I think that's what Spirit's just saying, is like, are you ready to sit in the throne? Are you ready to take your spot as that leader and guide, right? Hello, Healer Lounge. And yeah, I just invite you to see if that's something you're willing to do, because you're protected no matter what. Anyways, okay, hope that helps, Melody. Kind of just, I just want like a whole other like do. Okay, Deborah. Hi, Deborah. Ooh, and Mary, if you'd like a card, of course, let me know. And I'm going to just shout out to Healer Lounge. If you are looking for a lovely card reader, intuitive, definitely check out Mary at the Healer Lounge. You can probably click on her little image in the chat and yeah, subscribe. She's cool. And I'll see you later. Anyways, okay. Deborah, we got, ooh, this is a cool card. Mysticism. Look at that. Oh. I feel, Deborah, there's like this, you have like, yeah, it's like witchy, mysterious, sorceress energy that can be really scary for some people. Let's be honest. Some people can be really frightened by that. It can seem almost like you get left out in different scenarios, but your path is open. There's no stumbling blocks where you can be in this energy. And I just want to point out her feet, the feet at the bottom. Like, see how this huge, massive gown she's wearing is like not even being covered, or it's not stopping her, So the cloak, the ability to hide and be self-contained, be in a place of in and out of any space that you want to, very kind of like mysteriously. It's not going to hinder you in any way. So any way in which you have felt it's hindering you, being invited to see it as a as a aspect of yourself that actually is good. Okay, it's like a light aspect. We have the wolf, of course, which would show up because that seems very fitting in that. The wolf being as powerful as it is, and yet it too can hide in the shadows. It can be seen when it wants to. It cannot be seen. It can hide in groups, right? And be part of a group or collective when it needs to. It can also be on its own, right? We got the whole concept of the lone wolf. How are you going to see yourself, I guess, Deborah, is what's kind of coming through. Are you going to allow yourself to really acknowledge that you are perfect the way that you are, that your attributes, and if you've ever heard of the term like Heyoka, the Heyoka medicine, that's like the trickster energy. That's kind of something that's sort of coming through here to do that. And I don't know if I could be completely wrong, but when because I'm seeing like it's almost like Loki energy with the wolf, which I don't really think he is identified much with that. Someone can let me know if they know that. I honestly don't know much about Norse mythology as much as I probably would like to. Or maybe I do, and I just didn't like saying it. Then we have the tower. So letting those old beliefs of yourself kind of crumble away, letting the parts of you, if there is a group that you've been a part of and it's crumbling, Deborah, like, and you're just kind of like, oh my God, like, I can't do this on my own. I need to be part. It's like, no, you've got the tools and everything inside. Yeah, I just invite you, Deborah, to breathe it into your womb space. If there's energy moving there. And if there's any like need where you felt like you needed to protect yourself and cover your womb because of the past, like that's okay. See, this is part of the learning opportunity for you. Yeah. Let's pull a rune. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Oh, my book's down here. I was going to look something up. Is there anything I want to say about that? I don't know. 22. If there's something there for you. Okay. Deborah, but let's pull a rune. And I might look on my phone here in a minute. I think path 22. I'm just trying to think what that is. Path 22. Minus 10, 12, 11. Ingazi. Oh, yeah, okay. So Ingazi is the rune of like action, but also like fertility. I believe it was connected to the god of fertility, who I should know the name of, but yeah. This is like the rune, if there is something, maybe there's something you need to like cut away from right now. You can start with like energetically cutting away. Yeah, I don't know why I'm feeling so strongly for you, the womb space, Deborah. Or are you pregnant? Or like, I don't know. But anyways, God damn it. Not that it's a bad thing. I'm just, the things I say. If there's something you need to cut away from, even energetically, or these past experiences, if they're tied to the womb or other parts of your body, you can legit just like pull and like throw it off your body. Throw it off your body. Call to the wolf to support you and give you that determination, I want to say, to remove. But then cutting away energetically can help with actually cutting away from these relationships or people in our life, or these stories we've told ourselves about ourselves in a much more easy way. I'm 42. Okay, cool. I mean, yeah. Not that age matters, I guess, for birthing, as someone told me today. But yes. So, if there's something here from a past that can be cut away, and see how this can impact your connections with other people, And these stories that if you've been saying that to yourself about how you're showing up or how you're being, I would definitely encourage that. And then, I was going to look up here for you. Just bear with me a moment. Ooh, 111, that's fun. If I can find it on this, the path 11. Let's see if I can do it. 22. If you are familiar with anything related to like Kabbalah or the like kind of Jewish mysticism and the tree of life, I would encourage you to look up Path 22. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it on this app right this. Oh, here we go. Lamed. Okay. Something about balancing. You could look this up just simply searching up Path 22. I don't know why I feel like that might be important. And see what kind of energies arise for you, what you see from it as you read through. And there's something balancing for you is like the main thing that I'm seeing, being with Lamed, being that center energy. So allow it to balance for you. Anyways, I digress. There you go, Deborah. Thanks for being here. Okay, Mary, let's get you a card if you'd like. And then I think we're coming towards the end. Ooh, wow. Thanks all for being here today. This has been fun. Again, like I said, I'm hoping to kind of do this like regularly. Hi, Micah. Yeah, Micah Goddess. We'll get you a card too. I think there'll be time if you'd like one. But yeah, folks would, or if you're interested in joining, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you click the notification bell and stuff. I'm going to try to do my best to send out those live. I think you can put a notification out and get people to sign up for lives in the future. So I'll make sure I do that. Probably keep the time the same next week, and then maybe the following Monday do a different time, just because I'm trying to see how it works for folks. I know not everyone is at home enjoying, or what depends where you live, I guess, But yeah, it's been great to have you here. So we'll do a couple more. We're going to do Mary, and then I think Micah. So we got the prayer card for you first, Mary. We got the bear, of course. Well, I got lots of things to share with you today. Prayer. Ooh, okay. If we can get this to zoom in for you. This is interesting. Are you being pulled between the path of two? One in which can be seemingly maybe, it's funny. Both paths are opening up. One's opening to the farmland, one's opening to the city, like domestic life, I want to say, for some reason. And we got this lemonade that's being made from the lemons. So prayer might be something that can support you, Mary, with gaining clarity on which of these paths is going to bring you the most joy, which is going to really add to your power. And I'm saying that because bear energy coming in. This bear has the balance even of almost the two paths in the one, right? It can be the mother nurturing, the playful energy, and it can be the ferocious, rip your face off energy of protector. So, is there a way that even these two paths merge? And maybe that's what's being shown here, is the two paths merging into you creating what you want, the sweet lemonade from what seems like it could be negative and positive into one, right? From both of these places. Because sometimes I think we feel that the polarity, we have to pick one or the other. But yeah, I kind of get this sense there's lots of yellow here too, obviously, even with the bear card, the sun at the top, the gold. Let's see a card here for Marion. Rune. Ooh, good card. It's funny, I just keep being told to look at the bottom, so let's just see what that says. Queen of Swords. You probably have your own interpretation, being the goddess card reader that you are. So, thinking of what swords are, swords represent the thoughts, They represent, I believe it's the air, but quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. And look how this being's sitting there, not facing us, but facing off to the side, holding the hand up while also holding the sword. She ain't going anywhere. Everything is coming to her, this concrete throne solidified into the earth, using the thoughts, using the direction of the thoughts, using the intention to bring forth the right clarity. And the sword, I think, is really great to, again, because, thinking of like, even with that lama, with justice, holding, I don't know if I think justice holds the sword. That's what I'm seeing, the balance and the sword. Here, there's something about the sword to be able to justify and make the decisions that need to be made, to cut away what does not serve, and to bring forth or summon forth what it is that is desired, wanted, needed in life. So there's just this image, so we'll pull a rune. I find it also interesting, it must be air, because there's like even the gown, the robe that's being worn has the clouds on it. From top to bottom, the clouds, the butterfly, healing energy. Rune. Yeah. It is air. Okay, sweet. Yeah, that makes sense. There's a lot of air there. Butterflies, a lot of butterflies there. Your intuition, healing that. Yeah, the yellow again there. What rune, Mary? And it's interesting because the sword has both white and blue. I don't know if that's something that can be seen if you have a Rider-Waite deck, if it's just this deck. But I'm really noticing the split between the white and the blue in the sword. Ooh, Berkana. So a lot of feminine energy. The mother rune, it was facing like the right way. I'm just turning it so that it looks hopefully the same in the camera. Yeah, B, the mother, birthing. I feel like, have we talked about mother stuff with you before? Like, that energy of like birthing. So whatever this is that's being created right now, there's something tapping in. And again, it's fascinating. All of these three they're all facing the same way when they're laid down. It's almost like they're looking at the bee facing the right way. Look how they're all facing there. So if you need to look at your mother wound, or you are looking at the mother wound, there's going to be something there that's going to help bring more happiness and more of that like sense of appreciation for where you are in your life right now, Mary. And it could be very heady. It could be like you're up here, bringing it like down to the earth through the energy of the bear. I feel can be really supportive. It's going to ground you so that it doesn't get overwhelming with that energy that's like all the things. So yeah, hope that makes sense for you, Mary. Okay, thank you for being here, and I will see you soon. Okay, Micah Goddess, let's get you a card. Yeah, thanks everyone. Okay, this is probably gonna be the last one. If you're tuning in now and you wish you had a card, I would encourage you to go into the like when the live goes on, you can watch the first like 10 minutes or so. There's kind of like a collective reading that happened there, or guidance, so you can join that. And like I said, feel free to come back next week. So subscribe and see all that fun stuff. But for Micah, we have Vanity, a blue throat chakra card. Oh, it's so bright here. I need to do something with my window. Partner's like, why do you sit in the light? Thinks I need to do these at night. I'm much more a daytime person. Ooh, and I'm going to share a little story here. So I just this morning went to the gym with my mother, and now I'm a new gym member again. It's been a long time since I've been to the gym. Recognizing the pros and cons of being in spaces like that, caring for our body. And it was interesting going back and filling out they had us do like a waiver, and it was like, well, what do you want to achieve? What are your goals? And in my old Fola would be like, oh, I want to lose weight. I want to build muscle. I want to, it's very like vain energy, which there's nothing wrong with. but something has shifted for me. And I put in there, I was like, for me, it's just about my body, like feeling good in my body, like really getting a sense of like movement in my body, being in flow. And so we change, our views change about ourselves. What do we believe changes about ourselves? And it doesn't make us vain in any way to look after ourselves or whatever. And, oftentimes our past stories, our family members, especially mothers, could have this like negative kind of view. And they had their own view about themselves that they then put onto us. So just this invitation for you to check in what this vanity energy is. There's nothing vain about being a spiritual guide or standing up on a podium and talking and sharing. Okay, people want to listen. You have something to say if this is a role that fits you. People will pay attention. Okay, use it to the benefit of all, and be conscious of when it's maybe getting to a place where, I think I was just reading about this somewhere. What was that? A bit about the vanity. I think this is where the shadow work energy can come in. I got two here, so let's keep these. The shadow work can come in because it can help us to check our shit at the door. If we've been people who maybe, you think of like, I don't know, I'm going to spiritual leaders, but like there are like old cult leaders, spiritual gurus like Osho and all these people who like did start amazing work, and it kind of went to like not so great places. I think this is the importance of recognizing the shadow. Oh, I remember now. It's from this Qabalistic. So in this book, they're talking about the different laws of the universe. And one of the laws is the law of polarity: good, bad, right, wrong, black, white, whatever. And they're talking about how the law, we have this swing. So I could see this as like Osho and all these different spiritual teachers out there where they've been pulled from like the light all the way to the dark. And the beautiful thing about Hermetic mysticism or magic or whatever you want to call it is that there are these different ways in which to balance. And there's this like, I guess like the law of neutralizing, not a law, but like some form of like neutralizing the energy of that polarity. And I think when we can do that, however techniques or ways in which you do it, it can support putting that pendulum in the middle. So the vanity doesn't really happen. You don't have to worry about getting pulled to one side so that all the vlogs is experiencing in itself, if that makes any sense at all. There's something there. Anyways, Micah. We have these two animals that showed up, which is interesting because the elephant has the circle in its eye. It's holding a flame, and we have the dragon, which is like the spirit card. Ooh, look at that eye of the dragon. Like, that's just so fascinating. And that eye above the elephant, that ruby stone in its third eye, almost like the bindi that they wear in Hindu tradition, I believe it is. The women wear like a dot. Men too, I believe, often wear a dot to kind of signify that space. So I wonder if there's something there you can even visualize or touch that place, your third eye. Allow yourself to see what power there is within this state of being in leadership, standing up. If there's anything from the memory of the past of your ancestors that needs to be cleared to support you with better, like being in that position of like self-guidance and power and potentially of others in like terms of leadership, it will be cleared. The elephant can help with remembering that past. And if you work with dragon already, that's pretty cool. There's definitely something there. Let's do a rune. Oh, I feel my fingers trying to go for the one. This is kind of where it's like it was reaching. What are you reaching for? The light. We have Kenaz. It was pointing in the future. So you are being led. Are you striving? Yeah, it's interesting because we have the elephant holding this light. Are you striving right now, Micah, to like, maybe it doesn't feel like you can quite grasp onto whatever that light is or that part of you that's like bright. And I think it has to do with this past story of like, oh, if it's vanity for me for showing the light or being in the light or whatever the case might be. You're allowed to, like, this is spirit basically saying like, here's a key, and the torch or the flame is being like emitted for you to continue walking on, and that's okay. Like, you are the light. And whatever anyone has ever told you about that light being dark, if it's like religious traumas or stories, yeah, just be willing to like meditate, see it, and recognize it for how it's like added to your life in terms of growth. Yeah. Yeah, just breathing in the energy of that. Like, it's just inviting you to breathe in. It's almost like it is very like enlivening energy. And anytime you feel that, if you're noticing it, however you notice, almost like this vibrancy coming in, I invite you just to pause and just breathe it in. Just be with it momentarily, or as long as you can. If you have time to sit there for 5 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever. And just like, yeah, it's like juicy, vibrant, like life force energy that's coming through. And the things that help you to feel that, the places, the people, the experiences that add to that feeling, that's your body basically saying, yeah, okay. And that's part of that path lighting up. And that, yeah, yeah, I'm seeing this like just following the path as you need to, where you feel called. Anytime something shows up, just, be with it, recognize it. And if it's an old story, be like, that's not my story anymore. This is the new story of how I'm showing up. And sharing that story, I think, can really help others, and it'll help you as well on your healing path. Yeah. So I think that's all I have to say about that, Micah. Yeah, thank you, everyone. That was super great. Yeah, just inviting everyone, if whoever's on, just to take a few deep breaths with me. So just emptying out all the air and inhaling for the count of 4. Pause at the top and exhaling out for 4. Really emptying your belly. We'll do that a couple more times. Inhaling. Pause. Exhale. And one more time. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Whenever you're ready, returning back. Thanking you all for being here. Again, subscribe, notifications, so you know about the next Monday. Checking out videos on Thursdays when we release our recorded videos. And if you're curious about working together, you can check out the description. I have the Reiki monthly membership that's happening. There's some open spaces for that. And if you're in the Edmonton area or want long distance support, I also do like one-on-one sessions of like healing, shamanic healing, Reiki, psychedelic integration, and all other sorts of medicine fun. But yeah, super excited to stay connected. And I thank you all for tuning in today. Yeah, thanks, Tiffany. You too. Bye, Mary. Bye, everyone. Okay, you guys take care. Okay, bye.